Welcome to No Bunts, the show for the casual baseball fan here on the Athletic Podcast Network. Welcome. I'm Tas Melas. With me is the man making the magic happen, JD.
Hello.
What's going on, JD?
Oh, I'm so really happy to be here. I'm pumped.
Didn't even try off the bat to sell it. I understand. It is opening night in the NBA.
No, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah,
it's exciting.
Liar. It is. It is an exciting time in baseball. There is a lot going on in the no dunks world because basketball is happening. Heck, we're jumping on a live stream pretty soon for the Athletic.
Imminently.
In mere minutes, about an hour and 40 minutes from now. It's starting at 3 p.m. We'll be jumping on at 3:45 Eastern as they get into it. But there's so much going on in the NBA world.
Yes.
Hence your slight hesitation, I think, in your excitement level.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
You're going to have to carry this one because I watched zero baseball this weekend. Nothing.
I'm planning on it. I'm planning on carrying the entire thing. I've got a few questions for you.
Okay, yeah.
As we go along, mostly about celebrations. But with all the basketball going on, all that stuff happening today, we've got opening night. So much basketball. I just want to take a quick break for you, mostly for you, JD, to clean the palate, to update you and everyone with what's going on in Major League Baseball in the postseason here, because we're down to 4 teams. Are we? No, we've got a rain delay, baby. It was supposed to be done Monday night as we record here Tuesday afternoon. The division series were supposed to be done, but the Bronx was rained out, so the Guardians and the Yankees will meet in mere hours here on Tuesday to settle their 5-game set. It's the only division series, JD, just so you know, that went to 5 games. And we'll get to the wild NL where the Phillies are going to play the Phillies are going to play the Padres in the championship series. 2 wild card teams. That is crazy. We'll get to the Braves. I went down to the stadium. We'll get to our man Jared Dent, our correspondent who was on No Bunts way back when, telling you why the Braves will go to the World Series. He'll tell you why they didn't get there. It's been a wild week in baseball, and there wasn't really a great window for us to record after the division series completed and the championship series begin, because the championship series actually begin tonight with the Padres and the Phillies. So this is when we're recording. Hopefully this isn't uninteresting to you. The Guardians and Yankees, listen, I have been enthralled by this series. It has been really, really good. So let's talk about how the Yankees and Guardians got to 2-2. We're going to game 1. We're in the Bronx. Garrett Cole on the hill for the Yankees. I love that demeanor on that guy. He is a classic ace, 6'4", 220, imposing. Not a lot of wasted movement, not a lot of noise in his windup. Just throws. It feels like he's kind of playing catch with the pitcher, although he's got nasty stuff. Anyways, in game 1, he battled, got through some tough situations. He gave up a solo home run to one of my faves, Guardians leadoff guy Steven Kwan. He had 8 Ks, though. The Yanks got homers from Harrison Bader and Anthony Rizzo, and they almost got a home run from Josh Donaldson. Here's where I'm going to ask you to chime in, JD, because Josh Donaldson of the New York Yankees, right-handed hitter, goes oppo into right field. Now, it kind of looks like the ball clears the fence. It hits the top of the fence, and because of incredible reporting by Chris Kirschner of The Athletic, we learned that the ball ricocheted off the top of the fence and then hit a Bud Light container.
Ooh.
And came back and landed in the field. So Josh Donaldson actually stopped running around first base. He got into his trot. He thought it was gone. But because the concession man left his container there, it actually did hit the top of the wall, and it's very, very, very difficult to see. But because he left the container strictly at the base of the stairs and right at the wall, it hit the container, and it came back into play. And there is no way that ball stays in if that Bud Light container isn't there. Now, the Yankees went on to win. It doesn't really matter, but the beer vendor set it down. And
as you do.
Yeah. Yeah, as you do. It's not his
He's
fault.
Probably getting change or something,
Yeah, it's a weird spot, I think, for it to be put down, don't you think? Like right at the base of the wall.
Okay, where else are you putting it? You're in the middle of a crowd. You're
on the stairs. It's on the stairs is the classic spot for it.
I guess.
Anyways.
But you're in the front row there. You're giving out some beers.
Yeah.
Let me get your change. Hold on. I'm just going to put this down here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's bad luck for sure.
Yeah, it is. It's odd because Matt Bateman, who Chris Kirshner interviewed, he's a 44-year-old fan who was right there. He kind of had to reach over the container, and he thought he would have caught the ball if it wasn't there. And it's odd because it's very reminiscent. It's at right field here, New York. It's the playoffs of Jeter's home run that was caught by Jeffrey Meyer, who reached over and took it out of the hands of Tony Tarasco way back when. I
actually remember that, Tas.
Yeah, in the 90s. That was basically why they changed the rule, because the Derek Jeter fly was stolen by Jeffrey Meyer there. And if that beer vendor wasn't there, then Matt Bateman probably would have caught that ball. It would have been a home run. There wouldn't have been much discrepancy because it was literally off the top of the wall, bounced off the Bud Light container. Great reporting from Chris Kirshner from The Athletic. If you want to read that, theathletic.com/nodunks to subscribe. I haven't seen that reported anywhere else. That was a really cool story. Either way, the Yankees got their win. They're fine. They got the W. And it looked pretty grim for the Guardians in Game 2. They got down 2-0 on a Giancarlo Stanton homer. But then in the fourth, a single by Andres Jimenez scored a run. Next inning, they got an Ahmed Rosario solo job. So Rosario and Jimenez coming through that middle infield, a thing of beauty. It even got my man Russ Bengtson excited about baseball. And Russ Bengtson just isn't happy about a lot of things, but he likes Rosario and Jimenez in the middle of the infield. The Guardians are getting fans everywhere. Anyways, it was locked at 2 until the 10th when the Bloop Troop Brigade came through. It's true. The Guardians, they bloop everybody to death. That's what they do. And in the 10th, bloop, poke, soft liner. Guardians scored 2. The go-ahead by Guardians outfielder Oscar Gonzalez, who is beasting. Oscar's playoff legend continues. Anyway, series tied at 1. Aaron Judge struck out 4 times in this game. He was 0 for 8 through the first 2 games of the series. We got a great series. Series moves to Cleveland, tied at 1. It's chilly in Cleveland. Everyone is bundled up, and that got me thinking. Game 7 of the World Series, which we'll be talking about after it's done, JD, that could go November 5th because of the new playoff format. Add some games to the schedule. It's being pushed into November. It was chilly in Cleveland, and depending who makes it through, it's Cleveland, New York could have a home game. Obviously, it's going to be chilly. Anyways, the place was rocking, and the Guardians, they took a lead in the series, baby, and it happened in the bottom of the 9th. The Guardiac kids, as some call them. The Yankees entered the 9th up 5-3, but they allowed 3 runs to score on 5 base hits from the Guardians. The bullpen was the Yanks' weakness going into the postseason, and it proved to be true in this one. Clark Schmidt took the ball because Clay Holmes pitched the night before. It was a weird call. Holmes has been steady. Anyways, Oscar Gonzalez again delivered the finisher. Whew, a walk-off 2-run single. Gonzalez, a guy who was in AAA this season, delivered the game-winning hit in 3 of the 4 Guardians win to that point of the season to put him up 2-1 here. He had the walk-off bomb to end the Rays in the wild card round, then the bloop single to end Game 2, and then the 2-run 9th-inning single Game 3 to stun the Yankees in 2 consecutive division series games. So they're up 2-1, but Garrett Cole, big Garrett Cole, comes back out for Game 4. They needed, the Yankees did it for him to be their ace again. He did it. He took the ball, and he beasted. One of the balls that he didn't beast, that Josh Naylor got a hold of, went over the fence, and Mississauga's Josh Naylor with a wild celebration. A wild celebration. It is polarizing. So Josh Naylor jacks it, and then as soon as he gets around first base, as soon as he sees it, he starts doing the I am your daddy, rocking the cradle towards Garrett Cole. He starts yelling. He was basically doing it around the entire base path. He doesn't. Yeah, he looked like Garrett Cole when he did it. I said he didn't look at Garrett Cole because he was looking at his own dugout, but definitely polarizing. The bat flip years ago was polarizing for the traditionalists in baseball, this riled some feathers, but give me a break. He hit a home run. He celebrated. Yeah. That's the way he celebrated. I'm happy he did it.
I'm happy he did it too. It's a weird one though, for sure.
It's weird because you're running, I think, while rocking a baby.
Yeah.
Baby's not sleeping when you're running and carrying it. It just looks odd, right?
We're 100% sure it wasn't balls. Because he got a little low there at one point.
No. He did in the regular season. His teammates have come out and backed him up and said, yeah, he always does it. He says, I'm your daddy as well, which was odd to hear Bob Costas as the play-by-play man say, I'm your dad or you're my son, one of the two. And that was odd. It's just odd to see him do it while he's running. But who cares? It's a celebration. It's not like he stopped.
Right.
Part of the Jose Bautista, I guess, hate was about him stopping. It was a stop and glare and look at it. And that's a showmanship, or that is a bit of showing up the pitcher. Yeah. And I guess this is too, but it's different. It's not like you stop and glare. It's just fun.
Exactly.
It's just fun. I wonder if anybody watching here amongst the bleacher creatures had a problem with it. Let us know. It seems like everybody's.
It's a battle. You should be able to, if you beat somebody, dance on them a little bit, I think.
Of course. It's sport.
Yes.
It's a sport. It's totally fine. Anyways, again, Garrett Cole made it out of that game. 7 innings pitch, 8 Ks. Fantastic stuff from their ace. They paid over $300 million for that guy. He came through. And the Yankees got another home run from Harrison Bader, as they did in Game 1. They got him at the deadline in a deal that was questioned at the time for Jordan Montgomery. Why are you trading pitching for an outfielder? He came through. Anyways, the series is tied at 2. It was supposed to be played yesterday, but speaking about riling up the fans, both fans and media were a little feisty about how they handled the rain delay on Monday night. So it was an hour before the proposed start time of 7 p.m. The MLB said it's going to be delayed, but in consultation with the Weather Service officials, it should be cleared up by 9 or 9:30 p.m. Eastern, and we should get going. There's only one weather pattern coming through. So fans in Yankee Stadium are waiting. The delay was so long, TBS wasn't even running in-studio programming, which I thought was a little surprising. Usually, studio, takes it upon themselves, or sometimes they throw it back to the broadcast crew in the stadium. You find some filler programming, but no, we didn't see Ernie, Pedro, Rollins, or Granderson at all. The Cube.
Tap dance, guys. What happened to tap dancing?
I'm surprised.
Vamp.
When I watch Bally Sports throughout the season, they do it. The Braves broadcast crew does it. Yeah. But they just threw on the Cube. Dwayne Wade,
I heard,
who's host of the Cube. I had it on mute.
Yeah.
And the games look pretty fun. I'd never seen the Cube.
I've never seen it. The commercials look fun. The games look fun.
The games are great. I think they're pretty unique in the
game show
world. Yeah. Like you have to walk through a bunch of, I don't know, cones blindfolded, and there's a bunch of sensors. There's a lot of cool stuff.
Okay.
And you get and you're in a cube when you're playing these games.
Oh, hence the Cube.
Yeah. Anyways, the games are fun. But anyways, at 9:36, MLB announced on Twitter the game wouldn't be happening. So fans were in there for a few hours, and then it was announced to fans in the building 10 minutes later. That would piss me off. 10 minutes? That 10 minutes, more so than the first 2.5 hours, would have angered me. But the Athletic's Lindsay Adler reporting that it took 10 minutes to tell the fans in the stadium that. Anyways, the Yankees announced.
Wait, why though? Why did it take so long?
I don't know.
To tell them?
I don't know.
It's odd.
I guess the first spot it went to was Twitter.
Right.
So that makes sense.
You'd think there would be some rumblings in the crowd, like, it's canceled.
Yeah.
I just saw it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, what else are you doing? You're looking at your phone.
Yeah, it took 10 minutes to announce it. Very odd.
Crazy.
Speaking of announcements, the Yankees announced they'll be changing their starting pitcher because it was delayed by a day here to Nestor Cortes, the wind-up wonder. There's a lot of noise in that wind-up. A fun guy to watch. The Guardians have not, though. They're still going with Aaron Civili. who is a starter, but I think they're going to sort of do it by committee here in Game 5. Whoever wins Game 5 will be getting a fresh, very fresh Houston Astros team. And that will be starting on Wednesday. So whoever wins got to fly to Houston. Now that series, I'll update you on that one, JD, because the Astros were taking on the Seattle Mariners, who took out our Toronto Blue Jays last weekend, and that series was very different, but extremely entertaining. So the Mariners coming off that huge comeback win over the Blue Jays in the wild card round, and it looked like they had the momentum going up against the Houston Astros, who were playing the best baseball of any AL team. Game 1, the Astros give the ball to Justin Verlander, who seems like he's been playing forever because he has. But the Mariners jumped on him real quick. They're up 4-0, and then it was 6-2, 7-3, and then 7-5 in the ninth. And then they had done to them what they did to the Jays. A little karma for the Blue Jays fans. 7-5, 2 on for Yordan Alvarez. Bottom of the ninth, and Yordan jacked it. He ripped it. He destroyed the ball. He hit it so hard. And the 3-run homer off number 2 starter for the Mariners, Robbie Ray, who came in to close the game. They wanted him to go lefty-lefty against Yordan Alvarez. He doesn't care if you're a lefty or a righty. My goodness, he ripped this thing. A walk-off shot, 3-run shot. Alvarez, the first player in MLB postseason history to hit a walk-off homer with his team trailing by multiple runs. So a walk-off, I guess done with the team tied or down 1, but not like this. Amazing shot. Hold on. What about the 90? What about? I've got that stat written. What about Joe Carter's walk off? I guess they were down 1.
I have no idea.
Anyways, we'll check.
I could look it up.
We'll check on that during the break.
I wouldn't even know how to Google that. What am I looking for?
Baseball Reference. Anyways, 93 World Series. Listen, we've got a 30-year anniversary coming up next year, JD. You got to be prepared for our 1993 trivia. I mean, I'm already here, so why not?
Do it.
Why not do it? Yeah, it was 8. It ended 8-6. It was a 3-run jack. They must have been down 1 at the time.
Right.
6-5. Okay, cool. Anyways, Yordan Alvarez, first to do it. That's cool, but it got even cooler for him. Game 2, bottom 6. Astros down 1. This time he's facing Luis Castillo, the Mariners ace, who got the Jays. Alvarez hit a 2-run shot the opposite way to take the lead. A very different homer, or a rocket the opposite way. That's how good he is. Yordan Alvarez, the first player in MLB postseason history with multiple go-ahead home runs in the 6th inning or later with their team trailing. Yeah, a lot of stats for you. Anyways, 8th inning, Astros still up 3-2. Alvarez came up with a runner on first, and the Mariners intentionally walked him. Astros were only up 1, but the Mariners walked him with a guy on first base, pushing a runner into scoring position, and that runner scored immediately on a single, and that's when the Barry Bonds comparisons started coming out for Alvarez. Intentionally walking him in a situation where he should not be walked, because he hit 2 homers in 2 games off the Mariners. And it's true. Pushing runners into scoring position. You can read about it on The Athletic. Yordan Alvarez having a series, and the Astros won to take a 2-0 series lead to come from behind wins against the Mariners. Game 3. Here we go. This was a fun one. Saturday night, the first playoff game in Seattle since 2001, which is weird because of the Wild Card Series. They played 4 road games before getting their home game, but they got a real fun one that lasted 18 innings. Scoreless through 17. It took 6 hours and 22 minutes to settle it, and it was Jeremy Pena who hit a solo home run. Actually, giving Jeremy Pena some love, because when you watch baseball, there's a lot of little tiny things that help out. Jeremy Pena got on base to set the plate for a lot of Alvarez dingers in the first 2 games for both those dingers. So cool for him to get this bit of limelight here, where he jacked a solo homer for Houston in the top of the 18th inning. He was 1 for 8 in the game, but it's the one that counts. The Astros held on, and swept the Mariners. And a big reason why they got it done here in 18 innings, they pulled out a 15-game winner in extras to pitch 5 scoreless innings. They had Luis Garcia just sitting there waiting because they're fresh. They didn't have to pitch a lot of their guys because of the wild card round. So they throw that guy out there. He can throw 5 innings. And they had a 13-win guy in Jose Urquidy, just waiting to go too. They were prepared. They were ready. And that is definitely one of the benefits of having the bye. Now, the Houston Astros are the only 100-win team left standing because, as we'll get to the NL, all those are gone. The Dodgers, the Braves, the Mets, all gone. Anyways, they are the favorite. The Houston Astros are to win it all. But does that matter? No. In baseball, stuff is wacky. So we'll get to that wild NL.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
What's the longest baseball game you've ever been to, like in attendance, like extra innings?
Oh, in terms of innings?
Yeah.
Oof. I don't even know if I've been to an extra innings game.
Really? I saw an 11-inning game.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember. I think it might have been Jays, Red Sox, or White Sox.
I must have been, but I don't remember. Sounds like you remember yours.
Well, vaguely. I mean, all I remember is that I was kind of pissed because the bar closes at the 7th inning.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
8. Can you imagine 18 innings? That's 2 games. That's literally 2 games.
Yeah, it's cool for the Mariners fans because
it's fun.
They only got 1 game,
yeah,
1 playoff game, and they got 2 for the price of 1. But yeah, it happened in Cleveland, the Cleveland-Tampa Bay game. I guess it ran about 5 hours, but for 3 of the hours the bar was closed because it went so long.
Yeah, and
so,
fair enough.
Fair enough. Yeah. All right. Baseball, baby. Anyways, it is strange. Hold on. The bar closing. Why? Just change the rules.
Right. Well, what do you mean?
I mean, they're in place, so people, number one, aren't drinking before they go home. Obviously, just aren't getting.
And fair enough.
Yes, fair enough. Aren't indulging too much. Period. Overall.
Yes.
I don't know. I just think you can.
I think
adapt on the fly.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you really not want people? I guess if it went to the 9th inning, say, you'd have lingerers, just people who've been drinking for 3.5 hours sometimes, just hanging out in the park. And you want them out of there, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
But the driving thing is a good point.
Yeah.
But when you're at the Rogers Center in Toronto, who's driving there? Nobody.
Hey, anyway. I used to live in the 905. Some people are.
Yeah.
And when you go to the Brave Stadium, which we'll get to, I just drove there.
Yeah, well,
and you did yourself as well.
I did, yeah.
There's not public transit unless you want to ride 3 buses, and I don't. So you have to.
I was thankful that the bar closed.
Right.
I limited myself.
Yeah.
I controlled myself.
I know. You don't have to report that to me. I know you did. I know you did.
Which was difficult because Seb was plying us with new IPAs and Pilsners and such.
I had a blonde stout. What's a blonde stout?
Sacrilegious is what it is.
Yeah, he's just screwing with things there, but it was good.
He's messing with Mother Nature.
Yeah, it was something. It was full-bodied, as they say. It's true. It was thick. Anyway, we will get to the Atlanta Braves series. I was there to watch it live. We'll get a report from our correspondent, Jared Dent. Lots of surprises in the NL. But first, a quick ad break. I think I talk about Danielle giving birth, sort of. I'm throwing ad breaks now. I'm pitching ahead to ad breaks. Yeah, we'll be back. Licks. 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 What the heck was that? Well, the first part was Danielle, my wife, during birth. That was her breathing pattern. And the second part was licks. That was me. I thought while she was giving birth that if I added in a licks at the end, it would remind her of how relaxed we are sleeping on our helix. And she thought that was
licks.
And she thought that was the dumbest thing that she'd ever heard. Did that actually happen? No. But maybe I could have tried Midnight Lux, like our actual helix bed type. Maybe that would have worked better than the helix, because the Midnight Lux is one of Helix's 14 unique mattresses, including a collection of luxury models a mattress for big and tall sleepers, and even a mattress that's just made for kids. Listen, I think about my Midnight Lux and I get relaxed. Didn't work with Danielle, worked for me. Helix knows there's no better way, though, to test out a new mattress than by sleeping on it in your own home, so you can order it. Get it to your house, and you have a 100-night risk-free trial. And you can send it back, no questions asked. Try out your new Helix mattress, see how your body adjusts, and if you decide it's not the best fit, you're welcome to return for a full refund. So I guess you guys aren't relaxed when I do the Lex.
I was stressing a little, to be quite honest with you. I wasn't sure what was going on there.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about starting an ASMR playlist on our YouTube channel, just making some noises. See if people latch onto that.
Noises.
Yeah, the classic factory's turning into an ASMR factory.
I like it.
We've got that buzz in our ears. Doesn't really work for ASMR.
Yeah, that's not putting me to sleep.
No, it's not. Helix will put you to sleep, though. Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/nodunks. With Helix, better sleep starts now. Welcome back to No Bunts. Let's get into the series. We'll start with the Phillies and the Braves, because the Braves are definitely one of the favorites here in the studio, considering they're down the road. I drove in there for game one thinking, oh yeah, we're going to be all right. Phillies, Braves. They opened the division series round. It was a 1 o'clock weekday start for the reigning World Series champs. The crowd was not ready to rock right from the opening pitch. That's kind of understandable. At 1 p.m., it's early. Maybe I'm making excuses, putting the blame on Major League Baseball for scheduling the champs early, I guess. That's baseball. You got to blame something when a lot of it is luck. But anyway, the Braves were rested. It felt like they were in a great position. Starters deeper than last year's run, and it looked good to start. Max Fried, Braves starter, got the first 2 outs to open the game. Things looked fine. 2-2 on the third hitter. The crowd gets up. All right, we're getting out of this inning. Nope. A quick punch by Real Muto to the right side with the shift on, and that just opened the floodgates. I felt like we were free. Bryce Harper followed with a single. Couple hits later, it's 2-0, all but 2 out. And then the bottom of the first, it felt like the Braves were going to get theirs, bases loaded, and they couldn't score. William Contreras flew out to end the first. Maybe Contreras should have been moved down a spot for Travis d'Arnaud, who's been hitting well. Hindsight, I can do that as a fan. I can say what I want. I felt like Travis d'Arnaud came through with a couple hits that night. Move him up one, series turns. The Phillies just were in a better flow. Definitely a big excuse for the teams that got the bye. Missing a week, the Braves, struggled, weren't in their flow, while obviously the Phillies were. The Braves were 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Max Fried made a throwing error in this game. Anyway, what really made me in this game, bottom of the 8th, 7-3 Phillies. Phillies pitcher Jose Alvarado asked for a mound repair. Come on. It took 15 minutes to fix the mound as we're all sitting out there. Not cool. Not cool at all. And it was over. It was over then. It sure felt like it. That's actually a move that Jose Alvarado, same name of the New Orleans Pelicans, would pull. You know, he's sneaky like that. He would do anything. He's the guy who sneaks up behind players in the backcourt. You know, right. A very Chris Paul-like move. Anyways,
that guy.
Yeah. So
what was wrong with the mound? Who knows?
Clumpiness.
They get the rakes out? The hoses?
I mean, it took 15 minutes. I think his landing spot, I guess whenever there's a problem with the mound, it's usually the landing spot for the pitcher. Yeah, I don't know if it was too soft, too hard. It's probably one of the two. Right? Yeah. Anyway, 15 minutes.
It wasn't just right, that's for sure.
Yeah. Anyways, the Braves didn't score in the bottom of that inning after Alvarado's fix up there. So I got out of there, JD. It was 7-3. I'm walking on my car, and fireworks are going off behind me.
It's kind of cool from outside.
Yes.
It's a bit, you're like, oh, cool. Go Braves.
Go Braves. You mean the fireworks? Or?
Yeah, from outside. Like, because I did the same thing. I had left, and we were up big when I left.
Yeah, different game. Different
game. Sorry. Fireworks. We're hearing Randy Newman, the natural, going. It's beautiful. Wish I was there for it, but then I was actually glad I was getting to my car. I had left about a half hour earlier to walk to my car.
It was a long walk.
It was a very long walk.
Yeah, and you got a great spot. Yeah,
I had such a great spot, and I didn't pay for it.
The parking around there, it's treacherous. Anyways, fireworks are going off because Matt Olson hit a dinger, 3-run job to make it 7-6 in the bottom of the ninth. Was I a little bit worried that I was missing the comeback? Yes. But I was following along with plenty of other people who left early, unfortunately. And Nick Castellanos of the Phillies made a great grab right after the Olsen home run. And they took game 1. The layoff hurt. Anyways, gut punch for sure. Game 2. No dunker in attendance, FYI. It was a 3-hour rain delay here in Atlanta. But when they started the game, Kyle Wright was phenomenal. All they needed was their 2-out, no one on rally. They scored themselves in that situation. They scored 3, and that's all they needed, baby. Plus 2 wonderful back-to-the-plate catches by Dansby Swanson and Austin Riley. Oh, baby. That was beautiful stuff. So we're all tied up at 1, and that was the high water mark for the series for the Braves because it just went downhill from there. Game 3, no dunker in attendance because it was in Philadelphia. Braves starter Spencer Strider on the hill. Incredible year for him. Just signed that incredible contract, carrying an incredible mustache. But he hadn't pitched in nearly a month with an oblique injury. First two innings, things went very well, throwing his usual 99 on the gun. But in the third, the Phillies roughed him up for 2 dingers and 6 runs, and he lost his velocity on Rhys Hoskins' dinger. It was down to under 94 miles per hour, as the Athletics' David O'Brien noted. So the injury obviously played a part in Spencer Strider's game here. Unfortunate because he had a great season. Although I will say the Rhys Hoskins celebration, one for the ages. I love this one. Let's compare it to Josh Naylor. If you're watching on YouTube here, it's just a hands up and fire the bat down. He just threw it down as hard as he possibly could. It was more a celebration, less a show up of the pitcher. There was none of that. It was just, it was more about the fans and less about the one-on-one battle. And then he kind of sprinted around the bases, which I kind of like seeing. Less of a trot. He just wanted to get back in the dugout to jump in there. And that was on the 7-year anniversary of the Jose Bautista bat flip, actually, for the Blue Jays. So the game ended 9-1, and the champs' backs against the wall in Game 4. 2-1 down. Game 4, no dunker in attendance again. And the Braves got down real early. JT Real Mayuto hit an inside-the-park home run. What? In a playoff game? It was an odd situation. Michael Harris Jr. went to go back, or Michael Harris II, not a junior, went to go get it at the wall, bounced off the wall, and no one was helping out. Unfortunately, Acuna didn't move in right field. Anyways, Brandon Marsh, an outside-the-park homer, and I'm done with this series. That's it. That's enough of that. It was just a bombardment, and as I said, Atlanta Braves fan Jared Dent, he came on, I think it was the first No Bunts to tell us why the Braves would win the World Series. I asked him, well, what the heck happened in this series? And he filed this report.
Hey, Tas, I am back. I've been racking my brain about why the Braves didn't win the World Series. And it could be that we didn't play a game of consequence for over a week. It could be that I washed my Lucky Murph shirt during the playoffs. Big mistake. It could be that 3 of our All-Stars and our soon-to-be Rookie of the Year went a combined 5 for 43. It could be that we're in the middle of the plot of a romantic comedy where Freddie Freeman was our true love, but we just didn't communicate enough. And we've both gone our separate ways, and we're both with someone else. That's great, but we still should probably be together. Or it could be that our starters had an ERA of over 9, and theirs were sub 3.
Jared Dent coming through, and the set work really well done. He did a Charlie Day, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, connect the dots there on a bulletin board behind him. Actually, his wife, a friend of the program, Beth, She said, "Sorry it took so long to send this. He's been working on that bulletin board forever." We've got it on our Twitter account, No Dunks Twitter account, to check out Jared's video. Yeah, he's very down in the dumps, and as he put it, they just got hit by all sides. And again, that's a great excuse for teams that had the bye week. They're just out of sorts in many ways, and the Phillies jumped on them, the early start, and they just couldn't bounce back. So I wonder if that comes up in conversations between the Players Association and the league. It's a long break.
Yes.
I thought 100%. It was definitely. I thought it was definitely going to benefit the pitchers, but we saw both teams, the Dodgers and the Braves, that we'll get to the Dodgers-Padres series, bounced as the home favorite.
I have a new genre of person that I like, and that's a sad baseball fan. I really enjoyed last week's sad streeters of the Jays. Just bummed, angry, and now seeing Jared. I mean, I don't like to see our friends in pain, but also I found it very amusing. So
undoubtedly, yeah, he does, and he does it well.
Oh yeah,
Jared does it well.
I think it's real.
No,
I think he's actually sad.
He's not acting, but but he can pull it off as well. He had the hat pretty low.
Yeah.
Eyebrow level.
Look at it! Look at the expression. That is a sad baseball fan.
Great stuff. And hey, listen, we're talking about the Braves, obviously being upset, but a huge win for the Phillies. They came out of nowhere. It felt like this season. They fired Joe Girardi as their manager, and they were somehow able to come back. And it's a surprise. It is a surprise that them and the Padres are there in the championship series. And since you Bleacher Creatures are following along here on YouTube, and you threw out this note, I got to mention it. First inside the park home run by a catcher in the playoffs. Real Mayutu there of the Phillies. Frank Locke coming in with that stat. He said he was in attendance for the inside the park home run. Now, should I have verified that before stating it on air? Probably, but I believe you, Frank Locke. Anyways, let's get to the Dodgers and the Padres. The Dodgers, unbelievable. They enter the playoffs and they get knocked out. 111-win season. Tied for the fourth most of all time, opening their playoffs against a team in their own division that they have handled in the Padres. The Dodgers won 22 more games than San Diego this season. The Dodgers were 14-5 against the Padres this season. They haven't lost a season series to the Padres since 2010, but it doesn't matter in the playoffs, especially in a 5-gamer rather than a 7-gamer. Anyways, game 1, the Dodgers jumped out to a big lead behind their number 1, Julio Urias, and held on. They earned the bye. They were fresh. They won. It felt good. It didn't seem like the bye bothered them at all. But game 2, the Padres installed a fancy toilet in Dodger Stadium, and they flushed it just like the one that's being installed in the Classic Factory. Well, JD's bathroom actually not.
Yeah, it's out of the box, Tassie.
Congratulations.
They had to plug it in though, and the plug hadn't been installed yet. So they were like, the plumber is like, I can't move any further until I get this thing plugged in, and there was no plug there, so the electrician had to come. I have a toilet that needs to be plugged in. Do you know how excited I am about that?
So have they attached the plumbing yet?
Well, I think he wanted to make sure it was plugged in first. I don't know. The water is off. I think it's happening literally as we speak, and I couldn't be more excited. I
did hear some water just now going through a pipe, so
nobody better use it before I do.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I wanted to know if they had installed the plumbing, but you couldn't use the electric features, whatever the heck those are.
Yeah, it lights up. I know that.
But would you use it pre-plug-in?
I think you can. I think that
but would you use it? I don't think you should.
No, God, no.
No. Because you want the full experience.
Yes.
What about the bidet part? That's probably not.
I don't think you need
electricity required.
I hope not.
No, that'd be weird.
Yeah, it would be, but
well, you know what's weird? You're lighting up your toilet. That's weird.
Not at night. When I don't want to wake up anybody.
That's actually cool.
Yeah, Very cool.
Can't wait to come over here at night to check it out. Anyway, the Padres, they flushed it. Yu Darvish battled for San Diego through 4 innings, and he gave up 3 home runs. Actually, I think he pitched 5. I think that's a mistake in my notes. Anyways, Darvish was battling in Game 2. That's for sure. He gave up 3 homers, but they're all solo homers to Freeman, Turner, and Muncy. And the Padres bullpen came in, and they closed the door. They didn't allow a run. And Juan Soto performed a very cool fake out on a Muncy fly ball. I love this. He looked like he was going to catch a deep fly ball, and a classic fake out that you see in Little League. He faked out Muncy. Muncy thought, oh, he's going to catch the ball. I can slow up here. But it was just a total fake out. It hit on the wall. He couldn't have caught it. And Soto's fake out turned a double into a single. Anyways, it was neat. The Padres came in. Again, their bullpen took care of business. Trent Grisham tried a squeeze bunt. What? A squeeze bunt in 2022? That didn't work, but we're seeing a lot of small ball here in the playoffs when runs really matter. Trey Turner made an error trying to get the ball out of his glove, trying to get the force. That led to the Padres' go-ahead run. Again, it's that lack of sharpness. The Braves and Dodgers got lots of excuses. The Dodgers were 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Lack of sharpness. This series, we're all tied at 1, baby. So what happens in Game 3? Surely the Dodgers will respond. Surely, right? Well,
you'd think.
Game 3 was a low-scoring pitcher's duel. Blake Snell handled it very, very well. He handed it off to the Padres bullpen. Lights out. They didn't give up a run again. Playoffs are all about the bullpens. Josh Hader closed it out for the second straight night. He turned it around this season. Came over from the Brewers. Was awful to start, but he turned it around in September. And Game 3 was the first postseason Padres win in front of a San Diego crowd since 1998. 2020 doesn't count. There were no fans there, and 2020 just doesn't count in general. We're all going to forget about that year. And Blake Snell said about the crowd, he said the crowd was legit. That's probably the best crowd I've ever pitched in front of. And I watched this game, and I tend to agree. It was very, very good. Padres up 2-1 in the series, but surely the Dodgers will respond with their backs against the wall, right? It's a 111-win team. They're down 2-1. Joe Musgrove gets the start for the Padres. You remember Joe Musgrove closed out the wild card series over the Mets where they were checking his ears. As Buck Showalter said, he's got sticky stuff on his ears. Check him out. Well, in this game, he didn't start well. The Dodgers were up 3-0, but the Padres rallied. Oh, my goodness. They rallied. 5 runs in the 7th. Start the celebration. San Diego advances to the NL Championship Series for the first time since 1998. And no, I'm not going to subject you to that really, really weird Padres rap video that just went viral. I see Snevik saying that in the amongst the bleacher creatures. It's a bunch of older gentlemen rapping. No, not going to do that to you. We show you weird stuff here. We talk about toilets, but I'm not doing that to you. That's not cool. And just so sweet for the Padres to do it against the Dodgers. The NLCS starts tonight. It's strange because obviously the division series aren't quite done, but they'll get done right before the Padres and Phillies get going tonight. Very exciting. We'll be back next week to talk about the championship series, Phillies, Padres, and obviously the Astros against some other team in the AL. That's going to be exciting. But before that, before we get to the end of the show, before we wrap this baby up, we got one more break, JD?
Yeah, one more break.
One more break.
I hope for our it's not good for our schedule, but I want to see Game 7 November 5th. That's what I'd like to see.
It isn't good for our schedule, but
no, it's terrible.
What about it you want to see?
I love cold sports.
Yeah.
Like sports that are normally pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like to see snow on a football field. You know what I mean? I like to see the pitchers like constantly trying to warm up their hands. I like the elements being part of a factor, like a major factor in what's going on.
A major factor?
Yeah. Well, maybe not a major factor, but a factor.
I definitely like the visual.
Yeah.
I like that part of it. I will say I'm looking forward to it too. I want to see it as well. I don't like when, let's say it's a football game, I don't like it when it's crazy windy, where there's so much wind that the quarterback can't throw.
Yeah.
And it just sticks to a running game.
Yeah.
But I think in a baseball game, even if it's if we're talking like 5 degrees Celsius, 40 degrees Fahrenheit, you can still, it's not really going to affect anything that much.
No.
It'll be all right. And you're a guy who just played pickleball here,
and
it was about 40 degrees this morning.
Yeah, what's that in Celsius? It was about 5 degrees, 5 Celsius.
That's chilly for
it was cold.
pickleball.
It was cold and windy, and that little wiffle ball, it moves around.
Yeah. I said to my daughter, I dropped her off at school. She didn't have a sweater. I was killing myself. She had a jacket, but she didn't have a sweater. I was pretty angry at myself. Anyways.
It's all right. She'll be fine.
She'll be fine. She'll be fine at recess. Temperature goes way up in the first couple hours of the day here. But what I was going to say is I told her I was going to go out for a jog. I'm going to drop you off and go for a jog before I go to work. I hit the treadmill instead, though. I didn't want to layer up and then layer down. And you know how I get here. You're basically up against the wall anyways. Didn't want to have to take off that extra layer or two. It's a little too chilly. Anyways, pickleball podcast is coming.
It's coming. No dinks.
Yeah, no dinks.
Watch for it.
It's coming right after this break. Actually, Tweet of the Night is coming right after this break. Stay tuned.
Bad news, meatballs. If you've ever wondered whether your CBD was working, that means it probably wasn't. Sorry, but it's true. And that's probably because it wasn't absorbing right, you fool. Which is why Next Evo Naturals developed Smart Sorb technology, clinically proven to help your body absorb CBD 4 times better than regular CBD oil. Because oil and water don't mix, and newsflash, your body is water-based. You meatball. Smart Sorb technology improves CBD's ability to be absorbed, getting into your system in as little as 10 minutes. Next Evo Naturals are scientifically formulated to deliver more CBD in a way your body can actually use, and yes, it's clinically proven to have 4 times better absorption. So step your absorption up and get your supply of Next Evo Naturals Revive CBD Complex today. The clinically proven Smart Sorb CBD is combined with Next Evo Naturals' patented curcumin blend to promote a healthy inflammatory response and help you feel restored.
Step your absorption game up.
Step it up, meatballs! Get up to 25% off when you subscribe and spend $40 or more at nextevo.com/recover with promo code NODUNKS. That's nextevo.com/recover. Promo code NODUNKS.
Welcome back to No Bunts. The Bleacher Creatures coming through with some facts here for us. Juan Soto now 2-0 versus the Dodgers. Beat them in when the Nationals won the World Series there in 2019. Thanks for that, Alfredo Rodriguez. I like that fact because it's an interesting. Now Juan Soto going up against his old teammate Bryce Harper, a former Washington National. Just wild stuff how the Nationals had so much talent. And back to our conversation about cold affecting sport and sports just being played in the cold. Chris J says, listen, the sport is played 95% in warm weather. Time to have the most important games in freezing cold weather makes sense. And cold definitely affects the hitting/ball physics.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point.
Part of it. It changes it. It changes the dynamic. Although, listen, I would say in the Cleveland series there was a lack of hitting when they're on Lake Erie. There's a lack of hits in general.
Yeah.
Is that the cold? Is that
maybe
the lack of hits? Maybe. That's baseball, though. There's just so many tiny little nuances about the game if you're watching it, so it makes it interesting. Anyway, appreciate the comments from the Bleacher Creatures. Now it's time for Tweet of the Night.
Tweet of the Night. Wow.
Twitter.
All right, classic here. Going to Instagram for Tweet of the Night. This is from Emily Greinke, wife of MLB player Zach Greinke. They headed out to a Mariners game as a family. They were there for the 18-inning game. Emily, Zach, and their 2 children, and this is her caption. First MLB game in the stands for this guy. Her husband, I guess, not her son. Had the best time taking the boys to Seattle to cheer our friends on for a long 18 innings. Yeah, 6 hours and 23 minutes, I think, or 22 minutes. Only Zach could fly under the radar with his fishing hat and Bass Pro sweatshirt all day. I mention this, or I bring this up because I love the fact that baseball players in general, there's just a a bit of anonymity to
Totally.
baseball players, and they can fly under the radar. And if I was a sportsman, I would want this anonymity to be able to live two lives. This is Zach Greinke, who, yeah, he's wearing a fishing hat, but
Yeah.
pretty well known. He's played for nearly 20 years.
He looks like about probably 1,000 guys in that stadium right now, I would say.
Right. Your everyday.
Just your average
Average
American
Joe.
white guy.
Yes. And not spotted. Yeah, I wonder if he didn't have the hat on, whether or not he would be spotted.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it is a baseball stadium, so you'd think he'd get recognized. I mean, you guys get recognized in basketball arenas all the time.
yeah.
But
But we're
you're
one
not.
of a kind. No, but we're not athletes. One.
That's true. That's true.
You're
You're not wearing. It's weird to see somebody out of uniform, right? Like in their civvies, if you're used to seeing a guy on a pitcher's mound or whatever, wearing the what team does he play for?
He finished with the Astros. He had a bad year with the Royals,
The Royals.
this year. Yeah.
So you're used to seeing him in his Royals gear.
But
And he's just in a fishing hat,
yeah, he blended in.
being a family guy.
So pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I'm jealous of athletes in general, but
Do you
if can live
think
both lives.
that post was a little bit thirsty though? Like, we were here for 18 innings and nobody recognized my husband. Like nobody. What's wrong with you people?
Interesting.
I maybe a little bit.
Nah.
It's like we were here the whole time, fools.
I gotta disagree. I mean, yeah, you never know what the intent was.
Yeah. She was. I think she was just enjoying herself at a baseball game. It's just the part about it is like, we were here for 18 innings and nobody recognized him. It must have been the hat, or your husband is not as popular as you thought he was.
Oh,
Maybe.
Listen, there's people in the stream team, Hootski, who says he agrees with you. Nah. Listen.
You're so wholesome, Tess.
Nah, people need content. They traveled from, I think they live in Houston.
Okay.
They traveled to Seattle. It's a family trip. Zach, this may be the end of his career. I think it's possible.
Yeah.
I may be wrong. But people questioning his popularity here amongst the bleacher creatures, that doesn't matter, I don't think. But anyway, the hat really killed it. I think if he's not wearing the hat, although, yeah, he could blend in.
Yeah.
He's a multiple-time All-Star. He's a Cy Young winner. He's done a lot in his 20-year career. But great stuff. Great to have differing opinions, and I think she just wanted to put up a post.
I think she was having a nice time. I agree with you.
6 hours.
6 hours.
She probably needed things to do.
With 2 little kids. Ugh. I would have left 13. Hitting 13, I'd be out of there.
Yep.
That picture was taken obviously before.
Early. No,
Yeah.
because the sun went down during the game. That's 100% sure.
Yeah.
It was quite bright. So, I was on my couch doing work during that game. I didn't mind it, but it was a long game.
Yeah.
And again, yeah, the concessions get shut down.
Yeah.
Unless you want club soda, I guess you can.
Can you? I don't think everything closes.
Sometimes they do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I've been at a Braves game and eighth inning, I wanted to get a hat. Like, just go buy a hat, and I couldn't inside the stadium.
You've never been at a Braves game past the 7th inning?
I have.
Anyways, we will be back next week to talk about the championship series between the Phillies and the Padres, and obviously the Astros and some other team. Now on to opening night in the National Basketball Association. Again, we'll be on the Athletics live stream. It's starting right now. If you're watching live, jump over to the Athletics YouTube page. We also talked about the tiers in the NBA. We put all 30 NBA teams into tiers on No Dunks today. Tiers from championship contender all the way down to those aiming to get Victor Wembanyama's services this offseason. So check that out on the No Dunks feed. It was a 2-hour pod.
Ooh, that was a long one.
A 2-hour pod. Yeah, we had to get into it. It was a long one. Anyways, we will be back. Please join us on the Athletic live stream coming up. We'll do a pregame show as well on our YouTube page, just on our YouTube page, before opening night, before Knicks and Celtics, so join us then. But for now, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, everybody wants likes on Instagram. Even famous people, JD. Even thirsty famous people. We'll see you next time.